finance the research. The Federal Reserve Bank. So this is the mainstream of the mainstream comes to a conclusion that's quite surprising. It seems to defy the laws of behavioral physics. So this is strange. They're strange findings. So what do? They say, this is free. Let's go test it somewhere else. Maybe that $50 or $60 prize isn't sufficiently motivating for an MIT student, right? So let's go to a place where $50 is actually more significant relatively, right? So let's take the experiment. We're going to go to Madurai, India, rural India, where $50, $60, whatever the number was, is actually a significant sum of money. So they replicated the experiment in India roughly as follows. Small rewards, the equivalent of 2 weeks' salary, small performance, low performance, 2 weeks' salary, medium performance, about a month's salary, high performance, about 2 months' salary. Okay, so those are real good incentives. Okay, so you're going to get a different result here. Well, what happened though was that the people offered the medium reward did no better than the people offered the small reward. But this time around, the people offered the top reward, they did worse of all. Higher incentives led to worse performance. What's interesting about this is that it actually isn't all that anomalous. This has been replicated over and over and over again by psychologists, by some extent by sociologists, and by economists, over and over and over again. For simple, straightforward tasks, those kinds of incentives, if you do this, then you get that, they're great. For tasks that are algorithmic, set of rules where you have to just follow along and get a right answer, if-then rewards, carrots and sticks, outstanding. But when the task gets more complicated, when it requires some conceptual, creative thinking, those kinds of motivators demonstrably don't work. In fact, money is a motivator at work, but in a slightly strange way. If you don't pay people enough, they won't be motivated. What's curious about, there's another paradox here, which is that the best use of money as a motivator is to pay people enough to take the issue of money off the table. Pay people enough so that they're not thinking about money and they're thinking about the work. Now, once you do that, it turns out there are 3 factors that the science shows lead to better performance. Not to mention personal satisfaction. Autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Autonomy is our desire to be self-directed, to direct our own lives. Now, in many ways, traditional notions of management run afoul of that. And management is great if you want compliance, but if you want engagement, which is what we want in the workforce today as people are doing more complicated, sophisticated things, self-direction is better. Let me give you some examples of this. Almost radical forms of self-direction in the workplace that lead to good results. Let's start with this company right here, Atlassian, an Australian company, it's a software company, and they do something really cool. Once a quarter, on a Thursday afternoon, they say to their developers, for the next 24 hours, you can work on anything you want. You can work on it the way you want, you can work on it with whomever you want. All we ask is that you show the results to the company at the end of the 24 hours. And this fun kind of meeting, not a star chamber session, but this fun meeting with beer and cake and fun and other things like that. It turns out that one day of pure, undiluted autonomy has led to a whole array of fixes for existing software, a whole array of ideas for new products that otherwise would never emerge. One day. Now, this is not an if-then incentive. This is not the sort of thing that I would have done 3 years ago before I knew this research. I would have said, you want people to be creative and innovative? Give them an innovation bonus. If you do something cool, I'll give you $2,500. They're not doing this at all. They're essentially saying, you probably want to do something interesting, just get out of your way. One day of autonomy produces things that never emerge. Now, let's talk about mastery. Mastery is our urge to get better at stuff. We like to get better at stuff. This is why people play musical instruments on the weekend. You have all these people who are acting in ways that seem irrational economically. They play musical instruments on weekends. Why? It's not going to get them a mate. It's not going to make them any money. Why are they doing it? Because it's fun. Because you get better at it, and that's satisfying. Go back in time a little bit. I imagine this if I went to my first economics professor, a woman named Mary Alice Schulman. And I went to her in 1983 and said, Professor Schulman, can I talk to you after class for a moment? Yeah. I got this inkling, I got this idea for a business model. I just want to run it past you. Here's how it would work. You get a bunch of people around the world who are doing highly skilled work, but they're willing to do it for free and volunteer their time, 20, sometimes 30 hours a week. Okay, she's looking at someone skeptically there. Oh, but I'm not done. And then what they create, they give it away rather than sell it. It's going to be huge. But she truly would have thought it was insane. Okay, it's even flying in the face of some of the things. But what do you have? You have Linux powering servers in Fortune 500 companies, Apache powering more than the majority of web servers, Wikipedia. What's going on? Why are people doing this? Why are these people, many of whom are technically sophisticated, highly skilled people who have jobs, okay? They have jobs. They're working at jobs for pay, doing challenging, doing sophisticated technological work. And yet, during their limited discretionary time, they do equally, if not more, technically sophisticated work, not for their employer, but for someone else for free. That's a strange economic behavior. Economists have looked into it. Why are they doing this? It's overwhelmingly clear. Challenge and mastery, along with making a contribution. That's it. What you see more and more is a rise of what you might call the purpose motive. Is that more and more organizations want to have some kind of transcendent purpose. Partly because it makes somebody work better, partly because that's the way to get better talent. And what we're seeing now is, in some ways, when the profit motive becomes unmoored from the purpose motive, bad things happen. Bad things ethically sometimes, but also bad things just like not good stuff, like crappy products, like lame services, like uninspiring places to work. That when the profit motive is paramount, or when it becomes completely unhitched from the purpose motive, it just, people don't do great things. More and more organizations are realizing this and sort of disturbing the categories between what's profit and what's purpose. And I think that actually heralds something interesting. And I think that the companies organizations that are flourishing, whether they're profit, for-profit, or something in between, are animated by this purpose model. Let me give you a couple of examples. Here's the founder of
So thank you for indulging me for that moment. So we are starting out of the video. So I hope that the first part of talent management, which is what to do with the question of money, is answered. When does money work? Money works when there are repetitive tasks. Absolutely the best way to organize, best way to remunerate, best way to motivate, mechanical things. And as you can see, so the first myth which we wanted to bust this morning is the importance of money. And therefore, I hope that part is settled with all the leaders, all the owners, all the HR professionals here. What did you hear? What you heard is pay enough so that it doesn't remain an irritant. If you're paying a little low, then the person is thinking about it, is getting distracted. Take the distraction away. That's about it. So the first thing is about the whole myth of money. I think that is something we need to challenge. That is something we owe as HR professionals to our owners, to our leaders, to our promoters, so that it doesn't become a distraction. How do you keep paying as much that it doesn't distract people? Beyond that, what did you hear? Beyond that, you heard three things. You heard what drives people is this whole sense of autonomy. People want autonomy, people want and mastery. How many of you want to really be known as experts in HR and want to speak here next year? Raise your hand, be honest. Only so many? Look around, just look around. Only so, once more, how many of you want to stand here next year and be invited as a speaker? Yeah? So we have this inherent need for being masters of our craft, being known amongst our peers, so that we can come and speak and share. And I think that's something which is what is driving a lot of people to learn new things, to gain knowledge, to be here, and then hopefully come here as speakers as well. So mastery, the second predominant thought there. The last one was purpose. I don't think we need a better example after the Amol case study about the purpose, so that's why I just cut the video short. But there are many organizations, there are many people who are connected to organizations because of their purpose. And there are other organizations which have it, but haven't yet described it. Right? So I think we now see what drives individuals. So that was really an individual's perspective on why they want to work, why they want to continue to work. Now I want to flip quickly to this whole study around the three types of organizations. So please speedily travel with me as we go through this. Now what PwC did, PricewaterhouseCoopers did, they looked at three types of organizations, and they call it the three worlds. The world of blue. They're not forever saying that big corporates are going away. In fact, on the contrary, they see maybe more consolidation of big corporates, and big corporates will rule the world. There will be a Reliance, there will be an IBM, there will be large companies. Why? Because they want to maximize an opportunity, they want to make sure the largest number of customers are reached, They want to take care of economies of scale. They want to use cost as a driver to bring better services. So big guys are not going away anywhere in a hurry. So that's the world of blue, which is really. The second is this whole world of green, which is really about companies which are working in terms of trying to work on the environment, look at some environmentally sensitive issues. And the world of orange is a small world, and they believe that maybe some large companies will disintegrate into smaller entities, smaller islands of orange. And that's the orange world. And therefore, a quick run through about what will it take to manage talent in these three environments. Starting with the big bad world of corporations of 40,000 employees and 100,000 employees. Many of us come through such companies. Here, if you remember, these are, I call them the mining companies. They've got the mining rights of a mine, and therefore they must extract the most gold, coal, bauxite, whatever you are in the mine. And I'm just using that analogy because they are opportunity maximizers. So they really want to look at HR as a function where we can help people become high performing. So here HR is really the high performance unit. Get us something, get us strategy so that we can extract the maximum gold out of the mine at the cheapest cost, sell it, and that really is the key driver. And therefore, it is really about preparing talent quickly to get productive. That's the blue world. The world of green is a little different. Here, people are talking about purpose. People are talking about what problems to solve for the world, and therefore, you're really talking about slightly different kind of practices. You're talking of an ecosystem. What did you hear, Mr. Sodi? I thought our frameworks kind of match. What did you think of, who are the three stakeholders he kept talking about? Suppliers, customers, and employees. And therefore, you see these companies are talking about purpose maximization. They want to really talk about building or increasing the income of farmers 2x or 3x. And therefore, they cannot but work in this ecosystem of three stakeholders, whether it is the community, the partners, employees, all of them coming together. And therefore, the role of HR is not just working with the employees there. You have to maximize how do we interact with all these three communities. So that's the green world, and I've, in my mind, classified Amul in this kind of a green entity. And then the small, beautiful world, what we all wish in large companies that we could be smaller, I could know every employee by name, therefore I could manage him or her. But here is something different. This is a very classic conversation which we are saying HR might become like a purchase department. You might have 1,000 individualized contracts with no employees. You will only have contractors. And that I think is something that they're talking about in this small world of smaller companies. So people come and go. So you are as HR interacting, you are actually you're building individual contracts. Already I must tell you, in a large conglomerate like the Vikram Group, we are seeing at the top level there are now individual contracts. There are no sample standard contracts with many employees. So therefore you might find even smaller companies, as HR department, you are actually like the purchase department. You don't have employees, you have 1,000 vendors who are partners. So therefore look at it as need-based contracting with those set of employees or stakeholders. They are not called employees, but they are called your contractors who come in as free agents and work for you. So I think those are the three worlds which PwC talks about. Now how quickly will that happen? My sense is in some sectors it's already happening. I think in others it is bound to happen. In many other cases, companies will make that small break and come to this orange world because large companies are truly unmanageable. Can you imagine managing a company of 4 lakh employees? Very difficult. So I think those are the three types of companies in the three worlds which we wanted to talk about and how to manage. And then we move to the last of my thought processes around generations. I think if you look at, and I'm not going to embarrass you by saying who is Generation X and who is baby boomers here, I think I can see a good brush, I can see all the generations, all the 5 generations are actually in this room. And therefore, a talent strategy to look at each of those generations. Let's look at people who were born before 1946, called the traditionalists or boomers or Gen X. I think all of these are, we could be off a few years here or there, but broadly the characteristics, if you look at people in the boomer generation, many of them are very healthy. They might be today upwards of 50 to 60, but they're continuing to work. Are you going to say we'll retire at 60? I don't think so. I think today we want their experience and we also want the energy of the youth. So I think how is your talent management strategy going to engage all the people who are still have the experience? Because the world is complex. And how do you leverage that? And equally, how do you leverage the young people who are coming through? If you look at millennials with the other extreme, which are people, let's say, born after 1997, 98, how are you going to engage with them? Because they are looking for experiences. I have a team member who says, after 2 years I'm done. Can you give me a sabbatical? I want a 1 year sabbatical. I want to go to the Amazon forest for 1 year. I've collected enough money. We only thought that this was happening in the US, but I must tell you it's happening now right here. So a lot of people want experiences. So how do you do that? And we are, I think, talking about permanency. I think it was Adil again who was talking about when people are looking at smaller short-term assignments, how do you change your talent management strategy? So I think that's the, so no longer can you be content or can you be upset that, I have a policy, but people are not adhering with it. My invitation to you, my challenge to you all in HR is, need to have 6 variants of every HR policy. 6 variants of every HR policy appealing to all the different people. So who said life is easy? That's why some of us are paid so highly to come back and look at complexity, to come back and address that complexity, because life is complex. We will need the senior people at 65 because the problems are complex. We will need the energy of the youth, but therefore are you ready for 6 variants of each and every HR policy? And that, I think, is really the call to action. I think, having said that, what I'm looking at is all of these, so really 3 things I have said so far. One is money is out of the equation. You pay enough so that for repetitive tasks you can still use money, but for non-repetitive tasks there are other levers, the levers of mastery, autonomy, purpose. We also talked about how the 3 companies, the 3 types of worlds, the blue world, the orange world, green world, how they've got to be managed differently. And now we are talking about, we just spoke about 6 generations in the workforce, and therefore you're needing 6 variants of each of your policies, including compensation. Having said that, let me now disrupt my own hypothesis in saying we will not be able to manage talent. What I'm saying is, we are feeling that we are far too powerful. My own hypothesis is really being borne out by what Mr. Sodhi said, you cannot manage customers. Equally, I'm saying we will not be able to manage employees in the future. And why do you think so? There will be no talent management done by employees or by companies. It will not be possible. Why? Because we will not be having any employees. We will only be having contractors who are working for us for 2 years. They will come fully talented. I would foresee that there will be IPL style bidding for talent. 10 years ago, did we think that our cricketers would actually, we will be bidding like this for our cricketers, kabaddi players, badminton players? How many of you raised your hand if you said I was able to forecast that this bidding will happen in India? We had heard about it in NBA, we had heard about it in the United States. My hypothesis going forward is we will have very active bidding for talent in India. And there are some companies, I just had I think engineer, perhaps if I understand your model right, you're looking at skill assessment. My view is there will be transparency, all your skill reports. Why is player bidding happening? Any idea why is player bidding happening? Because of transparency of performance records. You exactly know how many centuries Virat Kohli scored. You exactly know how many wins the kabaddi player brought for us. So his scorecard is available, transparent on the net. Google it. Similarly, I think all of your talented people, their skill reports, their competency reports, who's the grade A welder, who is the grade A plumber, who is your best technician, will all be visible. It will be available. Some companies will make money out of making it available, and that's where the bidding will start. Already on your doorstep, in the morning, I saw a mandi. This is a very crude bidding process, but it's already there. In your city, in every city in India. The best plumber still gets the best rates, and he gets picked up the earliest. In the mandi next to you, in one of those corners. The same thing is going to happen in larger companies because skills are going to be visible. People will be willingly submitting themselves to skill assessment, and that assessment report will be visible on the net. You should be able to bid, and I hope I'm not scaring you off, but this is going to happen because that's the way talent is going. So, start to think, start to prepare, at least if not all, at least your top 20% players for a bidding. So I think that really was my strong provocation. Why will the third point also come true is because we are now living in a very short-term world. What is the average